Welcome to this week's Not Naughty video, and today we're preparing for summer with gardening. We are going to get ourselves ready for a bountiful summer harvest, and in the meantime talk about preparedness. Fantastic, let's go. I've just gone on a mission with the boys and we have bought a whole lot of salad greens for our little gardens. So we've got rocket, we've got mesclun salad, we've got some spinach, and we've got the drunken woman fringed head Italian heirloom lettuce. So all of these are a result of many summers worth of trial and error. So we won't be doing cauliflower, we won't be doing broccoli because they did not work. We will be doing some more strawberries though. Having gardens on the boat is fantastic in the summertime. We've got some really long trips planned this year. We are intending on being out off-grid in the Queen Charlotte Sounds and maybe Abel Tasman as well. So overall we're looking at several trips that are going to be weeks and weeks, if not longer, in a row, which means no shops, especially in the Queen Charlotte Sounds. So last time we went there, we ran out of fresh food very quickly. This time, and we had a great garden, but we only had 2 of these tubs. So this time we're going to have a lot more. I think we're running about 5 at the moment. And last time we were very successful with our leafy greens. They seem to really thrive in the sea environment. And leafy greens, when you're on a boat, is a great addition to have. Prevents scurvy. Not that we get scurvy, but having the ability to have fresh salad is there's nothing like it. Especially when you've been at sea for weeks and weeks and weeks and there's no chance of a supermarket. The fresh veggies run out real quick. No matter how big your fridge or your chili bins, by 10 days you're kind of running out of most things. Right, so we've got a nice lovely mix of potting mix. So we're just going to bounce it out with some extra oomph. And then I bought this as well, organic humate. So that's going to give our veggies a nice little kickstart as well. So these tubs, we've used them for 4 summers, well 3 summers now. So the dirt, the nutrients in the dirt will be getting a little bit compromised. So by continually topping it up with goodness, we're giving everything the best chance possible to do its magic. Fantastic, so that's a really good start. Now preparedness on a boat and preparedness in life go hand in hand. You really can't underestimate how important it is to be prepared. You never really know what's around the corner. I've been talking with an old friend the last couple of days about living in very uncertain times where job security, food security, political stability, global wars, all of this stuff is happening around us, and we've become quite desensitized due to the news cycle and social media. It's all too easy just to sort of become numb to it all. But it doesn't take a lot for it all to tip over. So, I don't want to be in that situation where my family has to go without for any length of time, for any reason. And being on the boat, we have our perfect kind of off-grid base where we're quite impervious to what happens in the outside world. As long as we've got all of our ducks in a row, as long as our boat is operating mechanically well, as long as our water tanks are full, we've got plenty of provisions on board, we're good to go. We can last for months out here, which is quite a remarkable sense of freedom. Right, so tub number 2 goes into the mixing pot. This is dirty work. And as much as the kids would like to be involved, it's one of those jobs that just kind of needs to get done with as minimal amount of mess as possible. And essentially, what I'm running is I'll be doing one whole tub to one container with the comprehension that we'll be picking out and thinning out stuff as we go, so that before it gets too big, we would have reduced the number of plants in there by half over the next couple of months. And then in the summertime, when we really need it, there'll be 5 or 6 strong plants left that we can sort of constantly pick from. And everything that we've got going on here is perpetual. So as long as we keep picking off the leaves and making our salads, everything will keep going. It's not like an iceberg lettuce or something where you've got to pick the whole thing at once. That technique didn't work at all. I tried iceberg lettuces in the first year, was not successful. So, like anything in life, there is a little bit of trial and error. And trial and error is a wonderful way to learn. You end up working out what works for you and for your particular circumstance. You know, for us, we've got quite specific needs. We're on a boat. We're in quite a temperate climate. I mean, it's the middle of winter right now, late August, and I'm just in a wool shirt, a t-shirt and a hat, and it's all quite tolerable. Doesn't get crazy cold here, and in the summertime it does get quite warm, and it's very easy for things to get dried out. But because we're attentive and we're on the boat, we can keep up with the watering, and because we've got huge water tanks, keeping plants going is no big drama, and it's worth way more than the trouble of just looking after a couple of plants, because there is nothing more impressive than rocking up to a bay in the middle of nowhere in the middle of summer, blazing hot sun, big day on the water, and then having a salad for dinner. Whenever that happens, and a salad from your own garden. Whenever that happens on the boat, I feel proud, actually. I feel proud that I've managed to get into this position where we have the freedom to live like this. It's taken work, but it's mainly taken wise choices. You know, our business is online, our business is remote, our clients are spread out over a variety of different regions, and we can communicate and do business with them remotely, and everyone's happy. You know, we've built our business that way, and there's many different businesses that you can find that you can do this with. You know, the online environment is wide open right now, and with technology as it is, there are so many different things that can be achieved. You know, if you're a teacher, online teaching, if you're an artist, you can sell your stuff online. If you're a writer, you know, the list goes on and on and on. Right, so planter box number 1 done. And I'm not going to press it down too hardcore. I'm just going to I'll press it down a little bit. So just press it down, get some of the air out. And I'm leaving a little bit of space in here because I might actually go through and put some straw or something similar on the top as a mulch, just to keep the leaves kind of a little bit away from the dirt. That's it. Planter box 1 done. And not too much carnage in terms of mess. Right, so we move on to planter box number 2. I think we'll go with the spinach this time. You know, having the ability to be autonomous in today's world of convenience is quite a superpower. Not being reliant so heavily on other people to provide your sustenance, your income, your future, all of these things, we've been encouraged to outsource them to a system bigger than ourselves. And that works because it's convenient, and it works because most people are so busy, so busy, that they'll happily outsource some of that responsibility to another party. But what that does is it outsources your autonomy. It outsources your ability to govern yourself. It outsources your freedom. It outsources your accountability as well, because you don't have to manage your own life. You don't have to pay that much attention to make sure that all your ducks are in a row all of the time. You know, for some people that's a hard thing to do, but it just takes discipline. Discipline and a little bit of creativity, and strength of conviction as well, I must say. You've really got, you've got to be willing to be in control. You've got to be willing to have some hard conversations. But ultimately, the reward is this. I could recommend it and recommend it and recommend it, because it really is quite life-changing once you discover the freedom. And again, you know, talking with someone just recently about freedom, much of the world's law is based on the law of the sea, maritime law. And the law of the sea is quite different to the law of the land. And I really encourage you to spend a little bit of time looking that up, because you might be quite surprised at what you find. Spinach in the ground. So I'll just pat these down ever so slightly. I've left a little bit of room in here for some straw to go on the top. Now I'd love to hear thoughts and comments as to what you've got going on produce wise on your boat. If you've got any suggestions as to crops that are super boat friendly. Really, I'm just concentrating on leafy greens. Won't that look fantastic in a few months' time? Now, I've recently been watching a YouTube channel, Sailing with Phoenix, a young guy called Oliver who sold everything and bought a sailboat with the intention of sailing around the world in America. And his first voyage to Hawaii garnished him a lot of attention, and he's kind of gone a little bit viral, which is awesome for a young guy to realize the impact he can have on his own life by choosing to liquidate all of his assets, cash in his 401k, buy a sailboat, and just learn as he goes. And there's one video that really struck me, and it was a short clip, reel, short, whatever, where he's talking about a conversation he had with an old guy on the dock. An old guy in his 70s that had clearly sailed around the world, done all of the things that he wanted to do, that Oliver wanted to do. And he said to Oliver, that he wouldn't do it until he'd done it. And essentially, it put some doubt into Oliver's mind in terms of his ability to actually follow through and his ability to just get the job done. And it made him a lot more determined, but it also highlighted, the old guy was saying, there's so many boats here at this marina that started off as dreams, people's dreams to sail around the world, and never went anywhere. They bought these boats with the intention of sailing around the world, and the boat has stayed in this marina for decades. The dream fell through. And I think that sort of galvanized Oliver into making sure that he wasn't going to be one of those guys. He was going to follow through, and he was going to achieve the goals that he'd set out for himself. That's really admirable. It's admirable to know where your weakness lies. It's admirable to be motivated by someone else's doubt. And it's admirable to have lofty goals. When you're young, you've got all of these options, all of these choices. And sometimes the path least trodden is the one that takes you to the sunset that no one else sees. And it's your responsibility to respect the reverence of that moment. Not all sunsets are meant to end up on Instagram. A lot of sunsets are best appreciated just in silence and solitude, best appreciated with close friends and family, best appreciated in the moment. And in this busy world, I think there's a tendency to get caught up in oversharing. Even though that's how we make our money, making content for other people, it's also, when it comes to our own experience, I'm hoping that the kids are learning the importance of being present and the importance of paying attention to time, paying attention to the moments, paying attention to what's going on around them, paying attention to the beauty. Because life is crazy busy, and I can only imagine how busy it must feel for young people with all of the technology in their faces 24/7. I grew up in a time where technology was pretty basic. Someone called on the phone, you didn't know who it was until you answered the phone. And there was a real simplicity in that. There's a real majesty, a real sense of accountability. And when you were the one calling, to call a girl, there was a high chance you were going to end up speaking to her parents first. So you had to be respectful. Another one done. So I do wonder how the current generation, how they're faring with all of this technology and what it means growing up in this world with all of this pressure. I would love to hear the thoughts of people out there that have done something similar with their own children. It's always interesting to reflect on your own decisions in kind of an echo chamber of the people around you that know you. But I'm super interested, especially the wider cruising community. As we progress our way through this lifestyle and look to what the future holds, which may be a yacht and blue water cruising. How awesome is that for kids? You see, I see it on the channels that we follow, and it looks pretty awesome. But what's the reality? Is it as awesome as it looks like it is? I'm guessing the answer is yes. But there's a lot of bravery that goes along with taking your kids offshore into the ocean. Another one done. Running out of room. So the strawberries were remarkably resilient, and we ended up with a lot of strawberries over the course of the summer. So this is definitely a crop I'll be recommending. So I'll bring up some footage of some of our previous year's gardens, because I'm very proud of the state of some of the gardens over the years. We've actually had some really productive times with these planters, and it's in the middle of summer, in the middle of the heat, and you've got a whole great big planter box full of greens. There's nothing quite like it. So fingers crossed, there's no reason why this isn't going to go the same way. So for us, having these gardens on the boat is very important. We're plant-based. We don't eat fish or meat or seafood, shellfish. So being out in the sea is challenging in terms of access to food. Now, a lot of people around us are living off the fish and the shellfish and the all of the marine food that's available, but not us. So this is by no means going to cater for our family of 6 for very long, but it's certainly a really good supplementary fresh food injection into our diet, especially when we've been at sea exploring for weeks on end and we've kind of run out of all of the stuff that we've provisioned up before we've left on the trip. So it's very important to have these gardens, and I look forward to hearing in the comments some suggestions as to some additional things we could be growing that you've grown and tried and been successful at. Now for us, the leafy greens are where it's at. They're the ones that have been by far the most successful. I'm perhaps keen on trying a lime tree or some lemon tree or something in the corner, so that it catches the rain that comes off the edge of the top deck, which drips and is really annoying at night time. So having a plant there would soften that noise. And it's also a great opportunity for you to like and subscribe. Now if you haven't subscribed to our channel before, I encourage you to look at some of our other videos and hopefully subscribe. That would be awesome. Our channel is small, and at this stage, every subscriber, every like, every comment makes a huge difference to our channel and the growth of our channel, and we really appreciate it. We're doing this for love, and we're doing this really as a bit of a visual library for us to refer back to in years' time, many years' time, especially for the kids to look back on their childhood. And YouTube is a fantastic place for that archive to exist. It's so easy, it's so accessible. We can look at it from anywhere, from any device, and friends and family all over the world can look at it as well. So the bigger the network of friends, the bigger the reach. And we love the comments. We're really enjoying sharing our journey, we're really enjoying sharing our lifestyle, and we're really enjoying meeting some of the people as a result of this. Like, we've met some fantastic people just through putting it out there. So please like and subscribe, we'd really appreciate it. Now let's clean up some of this and see what we're left with. So there we go. The end result, we've got a whole lot of plants ready to grow for the summertime. The sun is setting, it's getting late, time for dinner. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and hope to see you back here soon. Thanks. Thank you very much for watching and sharing in a little glimpse into our life. We really appreciate being able to share these videos with our friends and family and the wider community online that we are now meeting. Please like and subscribe and leave a comment, as all of this really helps our channel grow. We also have a Patreon account now too, if you would like to engage with us more and get access to a deeper layer of content, as well as some of the art we have been creating along the way. See you in the next video, and we hope you find a way to be a little bit naughty each and every day. Take care.